Okay, hey guys. We are back in Lightroom and we've made some edits. We've gone over editing basics over here in our develop module. We've gone through the crop tool. We've gone through basic global adjustments, and we've gone through hue, saturation, luminance slash black and white color adjustments. So now that I've made some photographs that I like and I've edited them the way that I like, and what now? So in terms of this course, since we're online, we're not going to be printing anything. And I'm sure none of you are strangers to posting images online and receiving some kind of feedback or, dare I say, praise for publishing images on your Instagrams, for example. So in terms of this class, what I want to do now is go over exporting images out of Lightroom for the purposes of online use. Now, if we were to go and print stuff, we would not do it like this, right? We are going to export our final edits as JPEGs and small JPEGs for the purposes of posting them online so that we all can see them on the MeWe. Okay, so this is essentially going over how we take these really nice photographs that we've edited at high resolution and compressing them down so that they work well on the internet. So as you can see, we're in the develop module, right? I've made edits to these two photographs of my partner and our dog walking down the street in front of this fun wall. And so these are finals that I want to turn in for an assignment. So I've given them a 5-star. They're the only two images in my group that have 5 stars. So I consider them a final image, right? High labels. And I want to export both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my library tab, back to my library tab. And I'm going to go ahead and go to grid view. And I'm going to bring up all my photographs. So you can see that I have 43 images in my Lightroom catalog right now, and I'm choosing to export only 2. So the easiest thing to do is say, okay, I need to export only the ones with 5 stars. So I'm going to click on my filter, 5 stars, and here they are. So now what I can do is I can select all of them, and I can do that a number of ways. I can click on one, hold the command button down on the keyboard or the control button, and click the other one. Or I can hold the shift button down and click on one and click the other one, right? I can do that down here as well. Regardless of how you do it, make sure you're selecting everything. You can also on the keyboard just click Command or Control A, and A stands for all in this case. And you just want to make sure that you're only selecting the ones that you want to export. So if you do that in all photographs with no filter on, and you select Command A, you're selecting all the images here. So you definitely don't want to do that. So if you're going to use a shortcut like Command A, make sure that you're only selecting the images you want. And the way that you can be sure of that is right here, where it says 2 of 43, 2 selected, and then it tells you which ones, right? So these are the 2 that I want to export, right? These are my final edits. I want to turn them in on the MeWe for credit so you guys can all see them and give me feedback. Okay? All right. So now that we have them selected, and only them selected, right next to the import button is an export button. Now make a good note of these. When we click export, a little dialog box comes up. And again, we can look right here at the top where it says export how many files? Well, I'm only exporting 2, and it says 2. If you're thinking you're exporting 2 and it says 32, then that's a problem, and you don't want to do that. So again, another chance to make sure you're exporting the right number of selected files. Okay. Now there's all these drop downs that come up, and again, I'm going to close them all really quick because we're only going to go into the ones that we need to look at. Okay. So the first one is export location. Now remember, Lightroom references our pictures from our DNG originals file that's on our hard drives in our intro to photo folder, right? So now that we've made all these edits in Lightroom, Lightroom is going to apply those edits to a copy of our original and export it out and save it as a new file somewhere else. All right? We're essentially taking the original, making a digital copy of it, applying our edits that we did in Lightroom, and now we're going to export it as a new file. We're going to generate a new file, right? We're going to duplicate it with all of our edits on top. So we need to decide where that new edited version is going to go, right? So we need to choose first our export location. Now, if you're saving everything to your computer, that's fine. Or if you're saving everything to an external hard drive, that's fine. But if you'll remember, one of the folders that we made in our intro to photo folder was a JPEG export folder. So that's where I'm going to put all my JPEG exports. So they're all in one place, nice and organized. And they already have names because we already named them during import. So we don't even have to worry about naming them. All we have to do is say, hey, when we export these files, I want them to go to a specific folder. All right. So on this export to dropdown, go to specific folder, boom. And then this little dropdown here is going to appear where it says choose. You got to say which folder you want to choose, right? Choose a folder. So let's go ahead and choose a folder. It's going to open up another dialog box and you get to choose which folder. So I'm going to navigate to my external hard drive. I'm going to go to my intro to photo class folder. And then here are my three folders, right? My DNG originals, my Lightroom catalog, and then my JPEG exports. I want to make sure that I choose that one. So I'm going to double click that one and click choose. And it'll say it right here. It'll give you the list of where it is, volume, studio backup, intro to photo class, and finally JPEG exports. Okay. Put in a subfolder is automatically checked. So it's going to create a new folder just for this export. And you can do that if you want to. You could say maybe export 1, or you could maybe do something like, exercise 1. You could give it a name, whatever you want to do. Or if you just simply want to put all the JPEGs in one folder, you can just click that off and it'll just put them all as a list in JPEG exports, right? But I'm going to go ahead and put them in a subfolder, and I'm going to call that exercise 1. Okay. I'm going to leave everything else blank. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Let's close that tab. Now, file naming. I don't need to do anything because I already gave it a name. But if for some reason you wanted to rename your exported files as something else, you could click this and then you could drop this down and choose a naming sequence system if you wanted to. But I already named them in import, and you're supposed to be doing that too. That's how I instructed you to do it already. So I don't really need to rename them. Okay. Obviously, we don't need video because we're not doing any video. So we'll skip that one. The next one is file settings. And this one is rather important because this is what we're going to do right in here to make sure that our images are being exported as small JPEGs. So you want to make sure that image format says JPEG, not TIFF, not PNG, none of these, JPEG. Underneath JPEG, you want color space to be sRGB, okay? sRGB is universal web space. So when images are posted to the internet and visualized on your phones or on your computers, sRGB is the color space of the internet. So we want to use sRGB. The quality really doesn't matter. You can put it to 100%, but we're going to reduce the size of these images anyway. So I just bring this up to 100, but after that, I'm not going to touch anything else because I'm going to come down here to image sizing, the next tab. And this is extremely important, okay? We want to make these images rather small so that they load easy on the internet and that they upload quickly. So I'm going to say resize to fit under this image sizing section. I'm going to click resize to fit. Once I click that, all these options come up, right? And I want to change width and height to long edge, right? That's basically saying whatever side of my picture is longer, I want it to be this big, all right? So on my long edge, I want it to be 1,000 pixels. So that means there'll be 1,000 pixels right here at 72 pixels per inch, okay? So this is what image sizing should be. It should be checked that you're resized to fit and that your long edge is the dimension that you're affecting, and make this 1,000 pixels and with a resolution of 72 pixels per inch. All right, so that's going to limit the size of your pictures so that they are small enough to get up on the web nice and quick, but big enough for us to see on the internet on our MeWes, so that when we all get on and look at each other's images and make comments and critique, they're going to look nice and pretty online, okay? So that is all we have to worry about. You can close that tab down, and the rest of them you do not want to mess with. Again, making sure that you're exporting the right number of files, and then you can just click export, right? And this is usually a pretty fast process, right? Mine's already done. 2 pictures, bam. At this point, if you wanted to close, or in this case, I'm just going to minimize Lightroom. Now, if I navigate to my external hard drives, right? Here we go, my studio backup, intro to photo class folder, wherever you've put that. In my JPEG exports folder, I have exercise 1 subfolder, and there they are, JPEGs, yay, it worked. Now, if you exported everything out of Lightroom and they do not show up in your JPEG exports folder, it's because you did not choose the right location. So make sure that you do everything I just did correctly, and then you can go navigate to your intro to photo folder, right, on your drive or your external drive or your internal hard drive, wherever you put it, navigate there and double check that they made it, right? And here they are. And this is important because you're gonna have to navigate to this folder to post them to MeWe, which is what we're gonna do right now. So you can see here in my web browser, I have MeWe open. So now it's time for me to take those JPEGs that I just exported and made all nice and small and cute, and I'm gonna put them up on our MeWe. So here's our MeWe. None of you guys have posted yet, sadly. And I wanna post those images for exercise 1. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to post to this group, make a post, okay? And I'm gonna say exercise 1 finals. I'm gonna put test in parentheses just so you guys know it's me. And then once you've done that, come down here to this little photo blip. And when you click photo as that option there, that first option, it's gonna bring up a little dialog box. And then you can navigate again to that folder, your intro to photo folder. And for me, that's on my external hard drive right here. So wherever you've put it, navigate to that intro to photo class, boom. JPEG exports, boom. Exercise 1, boom. And there they are. And I'm gonna select them both. Now I can just click and drag my mouse and make this little box and it selects them both. You can hold the shift button down and click one and the other one, or the command button down and click them both. Or you can even click command or control A. Again, command if you're on a PC and or on a Mac rather, and control if you're on a PC, I think. So either way, just select those JPEGs that you want to upload. And this is important that you select all the images at once that you want to post so that your entire exercise 1 finals are posted together. Some people will post one and then another one and then another one. That's kind of a pain in the butt when we're critiquing. So please try to get all of the images you want to post together, okay? Once they're out, they should all line up right here. And it should happen rather quick because, again, we made them kind of small. So once they're all here, you can add text, right? Exercise 1 finals. Always be descriptive about your final posts for me so that I know as a grader what images they are for, what exercise or assignment they're for, and then all of us as critiquers can know too. And then of course you can provide us with any supplemental information that you want. You can type things like this here, you know, blah, blah, blah. This is a test for me. And then down here, for specific images, you can add captions, you know? So like if one of these images needs a caption, or if I asked you to maybe insert some information, you can insert it here. You can also change the order of your files, right? We'll be talking later in the semester about sequence. So sometimes you can change the sequence of your files, right? If you want to change the order, drag and drop the files. Once you're ready with all of this, you can just simply click post. And look, there they are. And once it's time for us to critique, we can again click on one of these from someone's post and we can make it full screen and scroll through them like this, and then exit out here or click the escape button. And that's just really how we're going to operate in terms of critiquing images in this class. Whether or not we're on a chat or whether we're live on video, regardless, when you're critiquing images, critique them in full view off the MeWe like this. And that's how we post them after we've exported them from Lightroom to our JPEG folders. we can post them on MeWe like this so we can all see the beautiful images that you make. Okay, guys, that's it. And I feel like we are nearing the end of this Lightroom Module 2. Thanks for sticking in with me. This is probably going to be the most technically heavy module this entire semester. So we're getting over the hump. I apologize for all the technical jargon and mess, but we're getting there, okay? So I'll talk to you guys soon, and I hope that you have a good weekend and that you're enjoying learning your cameras. Okay, I look forward to your images.